tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. We're about a year and a half into the Corona COVID event. And by now, most people are so confused, and even people who don't have a lot of spiritual sense, and we're talking about biblical spiritual sense, not just general spirituality, which can pretty much be anything in this time. But even people who run away from quote unquote religion and all those types, they know that the world has been turned upside down, that good is being called evil and evil good. What the Bible says, that's the way men are. That's the way men and women, that mankind is. That's our general nature. The world, the entertainment, the quote unquote science is going to tell you that we're evolving, that we're getting better, we're progressing, getting away from the traditional. We are becoming a more modern society. But the opposite is true. As a matter of fact, we're actually regressing, we're devolving. It's not evolution, it's devolution, as I heard one brother say. And part of the reason that people are so deceived is that they believe things like evolution, whether it's physically or socially and so on. People are deceived because they believe that men and women are just getting better and better, things are getting better and better, but then you look around and you know it's not true. So there's what they call a cognitive dissonance there, because you see things are getting worse. Things are getting more violent. People are getting more angry. But people keep believing that we're evolving. Classic calling good evil and evil good. And that leads us, of course, back to the COVID event. We've been talking about this in this ministry since the day that we even heard about what that was. And from that first day, we were telling people and trying ourselves to not have a spirit of fear. But the spirit of fear is all over the world now. It's all over this earth. But somehow people are not afraid of what our leaders are telling them to do, which again is turning the world upside down. Our leadership, they're not going to be leaders if they're not doing that. I'm talking about once you get to a certain level. Locally, you may have some workers or politicians or administrators of whatever industry who are trying to do the right thing and who are godly and who do want truth. But they're only going to get so far. That's all COVID is brought, is fear and a turning upside down of everything. You notice that things like, we're all in this together, but everybody's supposed to stay apart. People are scared to come near you. Whether you're vaccinated or not, whether you have a mask or not, people are just scared. And the saddest part is you see the children, it's already affecting them. They pick things up really quickly, as anybody knows. This is more than an inconvenience. I remember one pastor who I don't want to make fun of, because that's what the world does, is make fun of pastors and Christians in general. And I am a Christian, and I respect the preachers and the pastors, but sometimes they are deceived too. And he was saying at the beginning of COVID in early 2020, talking about that people are just feeling inconvenienced because they can't go to Walmart in the middle of the night. That's what he was saying. Or you can't go to Cookout at 4 a.m. or whatever, get a burger. And I remember being very angry when I heard this pastor say that, because he was helping turn things upside down by saying that, by mocking people who are doubting the veracity, the truth of what we're being told by the media and the leaders and the entertainers. All of them are stepping as one and telling us what to do about this event. And if you question it, you're a bad person. You don't care about people. You don't believe in science. What do you mean believe in science? I thought science was about facts. Sounds like you're talking about a religion to me. Believe in science. 2020. As soon as this thing started happening, I saw a lot of people in a different light. It was really quick. I saw how they really think. I saw how afraid that people really are. I saw the unbelief right in my face. People, I saw the spirit of fear. It's way more than inconvenience, because it's just chaos. It's manufactured chaos and fear, and people are consuming it. They're just eating it down. And they'll mock somebody like me who holds up Jesus Christ as the answer to your fear. and to your illness, and to your fear of death. But the Bible said few are going to find that narrow path, that straight gate. I mean, you go in places and they're trying to be so technological and got all these touch screens, like in a restaurant for ordering your food, but you got mask on. You got a touch screen on a credit card reader. Most people don't use that little pen, they use their finger. But you got mask on, you're demanding mask. Yeah, I know for a while, some of the grocery stores, for example, they had like a little piece of plastic or something on it. But for the most part, it's just a mixed message. Way overboard. I went in one time to get some sandwich or something that I ordered by phone. And when I walked in without a mask, the woman behind the counter pretty much sprinted from back where the ovens were and told me I had to leave. And then she grabbed my arm. And I'm thinking, woman, why are you grabbing my arm if you're scared of the virus? It's just more mixed messages. It's confusion. It's designed to split people up and make us angry with one another. Well, I'm not angry with people who are deceived. They're deceived. I'm not angry with little children because they don't know what's going on. You can get frustrated with a child, but ultimately you got to understand they don't have a frame of reference of what danger is or something valuable they're not supposed to touch and break it or something. Not angry with them. So I'm also not angry with grown folk, so-called, who are walking around or have been walking around since early 2020. It's now June 2021. And these people are demanding that someone else wear a mask, chasing me around businesses, those kind of things. I'm not angry with them. And I also don't want to mock them and call them stupid. They're deceived. They have not thought for themselves. There's an inconvenience for you, but it's more than inconvenient. It's more than inconvenient when you go into a cafeteria or a buffet, since they started opening up again, and you got to wear a mask when you're paying or coming in the door and getting your food, walking around to the bathroom, but then you can take it off to eat. But the people who are walking in and going to the bathroom, they're 3 feet away from you. It's just more confusion. From the beginning, it's never made sense. We've been saying the same thing over and over again. We don't have a large following, but people with larger followings than us have been saying things like this. But people can't hear. They can't see what's going on. The deception is really deep. And all of the deceptions are connected in some way. One of the deceptions that is very clear right now, as people are being coerced into getting an experimental vaccination, is that those who hurt you will believe that they do God's service. Good to evil and evil to good. Remember, the enemy comes for naught but to steal, kill, and destroy. And God is not the author of confusion, which means by process of elimination, Satan is the author of confusion. All these rules about not being able to fly without a vaccination, or not being able to work in certain places or industries without this or that treatment or face covering. But then some of the same businesses within the same companies have different rules. Some managers care more than others. It's more confusion. It's more inconvenience. It's frustration. The only way out of this is going to be Jesus Christ. Not that he's going to save you from being fired because you won't get a jab in your arm, but he can give you peace, and he's still going to make sure that you eat and have clothes. When I say these things, people scoff. Even people who are going to church. A lot of people who go to church don't believe the Bible. A lot of people who call themselves Christians are not Christians. So they're going to go with what the world says, and then they're going to attach the Lord to their own deception. The fact that they've been tricked. And it's hard to admit we've been tricked. Somebody says you've been tricked. Let me show you how you've been tricked. A lot of people are going to run away. Their hands over their ears. They're going to stop their ears. Like when Stephen was preaching in Acts. And they're going to try to destroy the person who's talking. And trying to get them out of the deception. This is why people hate the preacher. Remember Micaiah in the Old Testament. He's a good preacher, but the king Ahab hated him. Destroyed his life pretty much. This is going to become more of an inconvenience, and more than an inconvenience. You see it encroaching every day. And really this has been coming longer than any of us have been here. This has been coming on since the garden with Adam and Eve. People talk about, the New World Order is here. The microchips, New World Order. New World Order has been coming on, although it didn't have that name, since the first two people were here. Since the first woman rebelled, went against what God said, and Adam followed her in that rebellion. A new world order began right there. You must see that. Don't act like this is new and all of a sudden, no, this has been going on. Ecclesiastes 5 verse 8, if thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter, for he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. God is watching all this. You should have some kind of contentment. If you don't have contentment, if you're walking around angry and mad about what's going on and the encroachment of the government and the oppression of people and, I don't know, sex trafficking and women being abused and you're just angry about everything. And the black people are just being heard and have been heard and we want reparations and all of that stuff is just a distraction to keep you angry. And you're not going to get justice in this life for these things. You're just not. I'm not talking about giving up protecting people or doing the right thing or saying that people should do the right thing. But ultimately, this world is run by sin. It's run by the devil, and you're not going to use the devil's systems to overthrow the devil. This is just too basic, and for some reason people can't see it. They keep fighting for the social justice. I don't like those labels like that because people can use them too much and they become a parody of themselves, these phrases, these ideas, these groups. But it's just not going to happen in this life. There are going to be some people who are evil that are beyond our reach. No matter how much you protest, you're not going to be able to touch them. You're not going to be able to bring them to justice. That's for God. You're supposed to leave them to him while you act right and I act right in this lifetime. You act right by doing what the Bible tells us to do, and then we don't have to be angry. And God will protect us in a lot of ways. And where he doesn't protect us, he's going to give us a grace to get through it. One of the problems here is unbelief. We just don't believe that God can do that. But he can and he does. You just don't know about it because you haven't tried. You haven't let go of your own will and your own understanding and just trusted him. Even so, come Lord Jesus.